Oh, there we go. Okay. Well, good morning. Welcome to Pieces of Pat Paints. I am Pat. Well, it might not be morning where you are, but it is, it's so bright. It's certainly morning where I am. Maybe I actually needed it, though, didn't I? Huh? Yeah, that lights up my face better. Ooh. It's right in my eyeball. It's okay. Anyway. Hope you're all having a lovely day. It's been pretty quiet around here this morning, which is wonderful. We did manage to get the forearm printed in our printer back there, which is great. No, that's not the same coffee from yesterday. Yes, it is the same cup, but it is not the same coffee. I got fresh coffee. I hope you all are going to grab a tasty beverage and hang out with us. It's a little loud. I'm still kind of getting things set up. I was dealing with this printer and all that stuff. I haven't used a printer in like a long time, and so it took a while to get it back set up and ready to go last night. And then, you know, I had to do all the. There's a lot of cleaning and stuff involved with 3D printing that you might not know of. Actually, we can take a look at that. I printed 2 different sizes because I didn't know if they were printing at the whole size or printing at a different size. But I printed off 2 versions. I'll show you this other one. Anyway, so let's switch over. We're gonna just switch right over here. Hit start for today. Oh, don't get rid of me. We need to do this. This is what people like, or at least that's what people say they like. Okay, so I'm still kind of getting things ready down here, setting stuff up, getting the palette redone because it had gotten a little crazy and out of hand with all the Tyranid work on top of the work we've been doing. Good morning, Mick Beardsley. He says hello to all buds, pals, guys, and gals, which is a fun way of getting in there. We're almost through our old titanium white. This may be, I keep saying this may be the last pinch, and then I get another one out. This may truly be the last one. Oh, it's all gloopy in there anyway. And that's so anyway, there we go. I gotta buy some new titanium white soon, which is fun. I like it when I have to buy new paints. Anyway, so we're probably gonna do the axe tomorrow. We're real close to getting the axe going. We did print off the other forearm. This one is mine, and this one is theirs. Now, I don't know. You can't probably actually see it on this camera, but there is some small differences between how they printed it and how I printed it. They have a lot more of these little bumps, and we saw that on the head of the lion itself. Now, what that's coming from, just because I printed my own, so I can tell you what they did wrong, is that when they detached the structure, they detached it after they had cured it. So this is the structure. Now this one's been window curing. I put the other one in through my actual cure. Now, so when things get printed out, they come in this structure. Okay. Now they call this supports or armatures, but it's not really an armature. It's a support. That's the best one. And then, you know, it's a base. This base sticks to the plate, and as it prints, you know, it dips it in, bing, bing, bing. So like it did this base first, and then it builds all these layers, right? So these help kind of make sure that in certain places it has enough strength to lift itself off of the film that it needs to get it to print. Okay, now this one's print at 75% of the size of this one, because again, I didn't know when I threw them on the plate. It was like, well, this one looks like it might be a little big. Maybe they printed it at 75, so I printed one at 75, which means we probably can print a whole one at 75 and paint it again, which is great. It'll be fun to have a mini one, because this is so big. So anyway, that's why they have a bunch of these little dots, and that's why sometimes you don't even see them until you paint on there, is because of that particular issue, which is interesting. You would think people who are selling things on Etsy would know that you gotta print it the other way, but you know things people stuff happens. Anyway, we're gonna get straight into getting this thing painted up. Music today is White Guy Audio, or no, Cyber Guy Audio, not White Guy. I don't know if he's white or not, doesn't matter. Anyway, Cyber Guy Audio. Now we're going to bring that crimson red down into this wrap. We have this same crimson red, it's a crimson hue, Alizarin, I think, from right. We've used it in a few little places here, his arms and stuff. Although I guess we could have done them in blue. It would have been fine to do it in blue. But I kind of like to bring that red in a little bit more. We've got so much blue going on. The cloak is so blue. So, fun tidbit. I've finally been watching the new Dune movies. It's been very interesting to me every time I mention the worms. I'm a huge Dune fan. That's actually like my favorite sci-fi is Dune. I know all about the entire original run. I didn't read a lot of the Kevin J. Anderson stuff. I didn't find that stuff that interesting. Howdy, Rasmus. Good to see you. We've now got all of our pieces, and we are cruising right along. I did go ahead and buy that file and printed it. And here, we're probably going to get some overpaint on some of these ropes that are going across his arms, but that's alright. We're going to try not to, as best we can. It gets kind of hard to see with all the extra bumps from their print. Kind of wishing I just printed both the arms now. The print came out a little better than theirs. In some ways. Some ways they've got it. Like, they've got a better detail on some of these armor roll pieces. And that may just be from the type of printer they have. Although mine came out okay. It's hard to tell. Which is good. It should be close to hard to tell. Yeah, every time they say Shai Hulud, it's been funny for me. You're doing a pretty good job. The movie was pretty good. A lot of people didn't like some certain elements to it, but I don't know. There's people in every fan base that always has something to say about a movie adaptation. And you're never going to please everybody. It's just not a thing. And what I do think Denis did with this movie is bring a lot of people that wouldn't necessarily have ever gotten into Dune or watched it or even wanted to get involved with it, got into it. They had the right casting parts. They had great costume design, great set design. There's a lot of really, really good things they got going on there. So, somebody who wants to watch Dune stick around for a long time and be part of the cultural, we get a little bit more of the cultural identity it deserves. I'm happy that they did what they did. I'm happy with what they did. All in all, it was pretty righteous movie. My biggest gripe, I'd say, is how they would know the names of people without showing that small dialogue of learning their names, other than I've been blissfully confused in an hour. Well, that's an odd gripe to be. I mean, characters knowing names of each other is something that happens pretty quickly. Anytime you get introduced to something, you're going to learn people's names. Plus, a lot of characters know in the books. A lot of the characters know who each other are prior to the story even getting started. They're well aware of each other. I mean, you don't grow up the prince of a duke in a multi-planet empire without having some foreknowledge of some things. You know what I mean? A duke or baron, because the Harkonnens the Harkonnen spy network knows just about everything. I don't know if you know a lot. If you've read all of the books, there's a lot of fat that they've got to trim out to make a movie. And because in the books, it's all there's lots of dialogue, lots and lots of dialogue. But you can't do that in a movie. You can do that in a miniseries. If you watch like Shogun, the miniseries that they did there, they've done a great job at like portraying that same lost in a wilderness that is the city feeling that you get in the book when you read it. When you read it in the book, Paul is very much like some of it's discovering it and some of it isn't, because some of this Paul knows because he's seen it his whole life in these dreams growing up. So like he knows more about Dune when he gets there than most people really do, or really should. Plus the spice starts to reawaken his prescient memories, which means that anybody that's been involved in anything to do with Arrakis, he's going to start knowing that information pretty quickly. Prescient memory is very interesting, and you're talking about like full genetic memory here, where at certain points in the book he's able to have conversations with his ancestors in his own mind. It's a very, and the same thing with Leto. Now Leto, once he gets to the God Emperor, he can do this. He does this constantly and like has conversations with multiple people. Oh God, shut up. Nobody wants to listen to your ads. I guess you gotta do it, huh? Gotta pay somehow. Eventually I'll probably have ads on mine, and when I do, I apologize. But we gotta get, we seriously, we gotta get YouTube to start paying for the art supplies. Payne ain't cheap. Models are way not cheap. So we're doing, this is a raw umber. I'm putting on this fur. We're going to dry brush it later with a little bit of white, just like we usually do. This track's laying it down. I kind of like it. I'm digging it. Remember, it's going to be really shiny at first, and then we'll tone it down with our wash. At this point, we're just painting by design. We shouldn't really have to look much at any more material. We've got our color schemes down. We've got our designs down. Yeah. I really dug the new Doom movies. I thought they were good. And I liked old Timothy Chalamet. I thought he did a great job. Yeah, I'm new to Dune, so the movie, they gain the name Modib. Then immediately it shows Harkonnen using the name Modib without much... Oh! So, okay. Yeah. They know everything that Fremen want them to know. It kind of alludes to this a little bit in the movies, because Jessica says stuff about getting his name out there and getting things moving. In that second movie, they say that, and so they've been the Fremen start manipulating the information that goes to the Harkonnens. And they always have. They've been paying... They pay the smugglers lots of spice to smuggle to make their money and get things that they don't want everyone knowing they have on the planet. In the books, the whole thing goes way deeper. And we missed out on several. They missed out on several things that happen in the book, which don't necessarily make any real difference overall. But yeah, no, the Harkonnens have a massive spy network, and they set that up in the first movie with Piter. But a lot of the Harkonnen scenes, you're so drawn into the Baron that it's hard to notice much of anything else in that first movie. You're like, holy mackerel, because he does such a great job. I mean, and that's really credit to the actor. He does such a great job. It's definitely easy to miss. Yeah, it's the guerrilla tactics and the way the Fremen use misinformation a lot, and it goes into it in the book. They like you to think that, well, books. So you got to remember that, this book series originally, when Frank wrote it, was 6 books long, and some information you as the reader don't learn about until later. I was so confused from the first movie. Things make more sense now. I know it's not the movie's fault. It was very good. It's brand new to the media. Yeah, they kind of needed that mystery. And the book does that too, where you're kind of brought into this universe in a kind of Gulliver's Travel kind of way. You wake up in Lilliput and you're like, bam, everything's freaking crazy. Hello, buddy. How are you this morning?
Good.
Paint our guy's arm. Keep checking the fit over there. I think that was one of the things that Denis did really well. Is like it has these elements of the book in it for sure, but it also is its own movie, and he kept some of that sense of mystery. Because even up into the second book in the series, all the books in the series, there's this mystery, there's this unknown part of everything. And it's part of what drives the Atreides bloodline into doing things, is that they don't know what's on the other side of this thing, this chasm that they want to go through. And they're those kind of people. They're going to test that limit. It's who they are. Like they trace their lineage down to like Agamemnon and like the great houses of humanity, Alexander the Great, and all that stuff. It's very interesting. When you read the books, it definitely helps with some of what they did. So it's all the... Let me just listen to a commercial. It really says, so I saw them emphasize that there were some sort of glands under the worms, kind of scale skin flaps, causes them to stay more on the surface. Yeah, so the hooks, there's a hook that they use, and that hook gets embedded in between the scales, and you push it open. And when you push it open, it exposes the insides of the worm. And it doesn't like that. Apparently, it doesn't like that. So it starts to make this roll. And you can kind of control the roll by controlling where the hooks are. And then once you get them set a certain way, you can just kind of pull the hooks and away the worm goes. They really, Frank Herbert explains it a lot in the book, like exactly. He's very detailed about how the Fremen are able to make those rides. It's pretty cool. I highly recommend getting either reading it or getting on audiobook, because the whole story is really cool. You can at least get through Children of Dune. Most people get through Children, and they start to kind of go, ooh, this is getting weird. And then God Emperor kills it, because God Emperor is strange. It's hard to kind of comprehend the time jump to God Emperor for a lot of people. And he's so weird, because the God Emperor isn't really a human anymore. He's like a half human, half worm. And so and he can see the present, the future, and the past all at once, all the time. And so, he knows everything that's going to happen. And so he toys with people. He, lets them get certain, close enough to kill him, and then he springs his little traps. And it's a very odd persona to kind of understand, because he's just so ancient. He's so old. It's hard for a mortal to kind of understand that kind of nightmare. And his whole thing is he's trying to teach humanity a lesson they'll learn in their bones. And the whole thing about Dune is avoid charismatic leaders in political power. People that are too charismatic, you don't want them in power. You don't want fanaticism. You know what I mean? You don't want that. And relying on one person in power is always bad. So any power where it creates that cult of personality is dangerous and bad. I definitely like painting hands more than I like drawing them. Drawing hands is so hard. That's why it's so easy to spot AI. Their hands are so awful. Just take a look at the hands real quick. You'll probably be able to spot an AI image. Computers can't figure out what to do with hands because they just don't know where they're. Some McSpearly says, see, I'm noticing things. Also, what's with the whole drugging Colosseum prisoners? It's not being viewed as a weakness to the Harkonnen. You'd think fighting a drug warrior would look bad. Oh, the Harkonnens are... It isn't about being amazing at fighting a hard warrior. It was literally just killing these people for sport. They were supposed to be drugged because it was Fade's birthday, and he was supposed to have this, basically just like a pro wrestling match. In the book, it goes into more detail about exactly how that whole thing goes down. But yeah, it was supposed to be kind of like a fixed deal because for his birthday, and he was supposed to be given basically like given the keys to the kingdom, and he was named heir apparent there and all that stuff. But yeah, no, it was all supposed to be a setup. And they do it better in the books, but they do okay in the movies. Where the Baron is like, no, that was a gift to you. It was the people love you now. It was the Baron was also setting up this manipulation. Like nothing in a Harkonnen society happens without the Baron saying so. You don't get to just go off and do whatever you want. The Baron approves of it or doesn't approve of it. And everything is a manipulation, and everything is it's all fake. The Harkonnens are all fake. They don't believe half the things they say. They're the ultimate spy scumbags. They use a lot more treachery. They kill for fun and sport. And yeah, it was supposed to be just like an exercise where he was going to go out there and just absolutely annihilate those guys. And because it wasn't, and it looked like, the Atreides somebody got in and made tried to assassinate the Baron and the Nay Baron, and he survived. Yeah. It's kind of like anytime where you fake an assassination attempt and then you run on it, you know, you just run on from there and try to manipulate the situation. That's happened in a lot of cultures have had that happen to them, where somebody comes in power through an assassination plot and they overplay the whole thing.
Goddess energy. That's what it feels like. I gotta get in the right headspace first, but when I do, it's like my mind, my body, my sound, my lyrics, every note, every beat, it's all feeling centered on the same frequency, revolving around me. When you see me play, you'll understand what I mean. I'm Chelsea.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. They're definitely slimy. Like you said, they look slimy. Yeah, they're. What's crazy though is when you read the books, you kind of you start out where you feel like Paul is the hero and the Atreides are the good guys, and then you kind of start going through the story. You kind of start going through the story, and you start realizing that, like, no, the Atreides aren't really good guys either, and that this universe that you're in, there are no quote-unquote good guys. It's all it's all more nuanced than that. There aren't definitive good guys. There aren't definitive bad guys. And you start to see that a little bit at the end of that first movie, where Paul has kind of started to become a little bit more of a tyrant ruler type. He's launching war. He's launching a war against all the houses and all that stuff. Because to the perspective of the Fremen, he's a hero, but now the perspective of all of the royal houses of the known galaxy, he is a traitor, and he's going to become a tyrant by taking over. And I don't know how much of the Holy War they're going to show, but that Holy War is going to be awful. They literally burn the stars down, subjugating the galaxy. It's crazy. Well, I don't know how much of the galaxy it is, honestly. They talk it like the known universe and the known galaxy and stuff like that is how they talk. In the books, it doesn't really necessarily tell you, because the idea is that it's so far in the future that they don't really know, and that there was at some point in time that there was we were enslaved by machines somehow, some way, and then there was a jihad against computers and things. And then after that jihad, they banned like artificial intelligence, thinking computers. You can still have like a basic computer kind of thing, but you can't have anything that does advanced thinking. So basically nothing beyond like a normal office style PC would be considered basically outlawed. Because robot's bad, okay. Beardsley says, who do you think would win in a fight? The Emperor of Mankind, 40k, or Dune's God Emperor? Dune's God Emperor, hands down. $40K's God Emperor couldn't get close enough to Leto to do anything, because Leto would have known he was coming before he got there, and yeah, it would not have worked out well. And Leto, the God Emperor of Dune, wouldn't destroy him. He wouldn't kill him. He would... The Emperor of Mankind would most likely leave there with an alliance. It would have been different. The God Emperor of Dune is not... Yeah, it would have been one of those things that the Emperor of Mankind would have not wanted to mess too much with. Plus, the weapons in Dune are a little bit different. It's just, I don't know. It's hard to compare those kind of things. 40K is pretty brutal, but it's not technologically. They're not as on it as a lot of other things are. Like, yeah, I think most people in the royal houses in Dune carry personal shields, and you don't see that kind of tech in 40K. That's a very rare thing. But you had what, every single soldier in the Atreides army, every single Sardaukar, they all have personal shielding devices. And the shielding devices are so strong that it basically makes any kind of projectile obsolete. That's better than that shit. That's better than ceramite armor. Lots of things seem to get through ceramite. I don't know. It would be an interesting thing to watch. But no, I don't think that the God Emperor of Mankind would actually have a fight, so to speak. They would probably, because they have very much the same goal. 40K stole a lot of itself from Dune, because they both have the same goal. They're trying to force humanity to evolve. That's the goal. Both the Emperor of Mankind and the God Emperor of Dune, their goal is the same: force humanity to evolve to its next stage, so that it is prepared for what is coming. And it's a noble goal, but it's also kind of, a Moby Dick and Arab kind of thing. You can't necessarily force these sort of things. They just kind of have to happen. And in the God Emperor's case, he makes a terrible mistake, and the whole universe, the whole galaxy burns under Horus. The God Emperor won. So the God Emperor was so smart, he figured out how to do it. And by sacrificing himself, he pushed humanity into the place where they would suffer no more tyrants. And that was the whole point. That's why he became the Mad Tyrant. That's why he became the God Emperor. was to teach humanity that you don't want a God Emperor ever. You don't want a single person leading humanity. It's not a good idea. They evolved past this need for powerful leaders and strong men. It's crazy because we're still struggling with this same thing to this day as a population. And you'll see it over and over again, man. Humanity does this thing with despotism and charismatic leaders where we just we want to jump in and, I don't know, worship some guy like he's, or girl like they're some special something. I mean, we see it every day, people getting ridiculously obsessed with celebrities, TV personalities, musicians, hell, artists like me. It's something about humanity. We just do this. Some people want to be led. It's very strange to me anyway. Maybe not as strange to everybody else. I'm one of those why people. I'm always asking, why do I have to do this? Why do I have to do that? Why do I have to do that? Not because I want to be a butthead or anything, but because honestly, I don't just blindly do things. I need a reason why. I need some justification. And if I remember right, this is the side that's pointed up on this one, so we need to make sure it's real good. I do think I'm getting faster. Not that this model was exactly the kind of one you'd want to test that on. This has been a beast. But I whipped up some Tyranids the other day, and I was amazed at how much faster I've gotten since I started doing this vlog thing. It really keeps me going. It just says, I also think it's strange. I had to explain to my girlfriend that I'm the type of person, if you tell me I have to that or I should do something, that my brain is going to resist that. Yeah, it's kind of just, I'm not resisting having to do it. I want to know why you want me to do it. It's a very interesting way of living. But if it's an opinion or suggestion, I'm more receptive to it. I'm also more receptive to being asked to do something. Yeah. Except for I still want to know why. Why do you need me to do it? I'm sure, what do you need? Why? Why are we doing it? Why are we doing this? I don't know. I think maybe I had too many people pull pranks on me when I was younger. That's my real problem. I got pranked too much. I blame you, Kevin Bros. That's one of my friends. If he ever sees or hears this, it'll be funny. I doubt he will. This isn't really his kind of jam. Oh, okay. Just a little bit of that umber wash that we're so fond of. Again, this is raw Umber. Gonna kind of use it as a wash. I'm okay if it gets dirty on his hands a little bit. He does use his hands. I'm sure he is a axe guy. So, you know, positive this guy uses his hands. Can probably even get a little bit of, do a little bit on his hands here, and then we're gonna come back with another color anyway. Lighten this up just one more to bring it up to the rest of his tones. And we'll do this other wash while we're at it. Yeah, I definitely prefer suggestions, though. That is the way to go. Telling me to do something authoritatively is always a bad idea with me. I'm going to resist it every time. But I still want to know why. Why am I doing this? Probably led me into more than one argument. Has anyone ever reached out to battle their Warhammers? Oh, I haven't checked. I haven't really had time to play over the last couple of days. My son came home from being out at camp doing his job. He's home getting ready for school, and I've kind of been just playing with the kids, and I'm hoping to maybe pick up a game Thursday or Friday. I'm probably going to start talking about it today on the Discord. See if I can get anybody up there. Oh yeah, alright, I'm going to let that set up. Let all this dry. And then we're going to come back and we're going to hit it with the other stuff. And I got a whole nother hand I gotta do. Golly, my phone is just blowing up. Okay. Second verse, same as the first. A little bit more warmed up though, so I'm not going to have nearly as many mistakes on these ropes to have to come back and fix. Been a big mood. Been in a mood to pay. Beardsley says, "I've been in the mood, big time, to play some Magic the Gathering, but casually. I still need to get that proper deck and all that." My wife used to play. She plays. Used to play Magic the Gathering. Kristen, she said she had a really cool deck for a long time. I'm not a huge trading card game player myself. I did Magic for a little while. It was neat. It's fun. It definitely is fun. I see why people get into it. And definitely feeds on that collector thing. Collecting different cards. I know a few people that just like to build decks and then they sell the decks. Like they don't They don't even really play with them much. They just build a good deck, and then once they get it playable, they sell it. Oh, it's like, that seems anticlimactic. So this one's the one I printed. And I can already see, I can see these ropes back here better. There's less of those funky bumps and not knowing where I'm going. Usually says that Magic is his favorite to play. Don't care to learn how to play Pokemon. I just want to collect the Pokemon cards, right? Man, I know a lot of people that love Pokemon have never played a game of Pokemon in their lives. They just like the art and the show. That was weird. That was a weird stall. Must have been buffering or something. Oh, we got a new My Lord Marius Z. Yes, it is 3D printed. It's resin. The only part I printed was this part. The other one was bought off Etsy by a client. Would you like to see the whole thing? Hold on a second. Oh my God, he's so big. This guy is. He's an absolute monster. Here, hold on. We'll do it this way. He's so hard. He's so big. He takes up the whole dang thing. Huge model. Massive, massive, massive piece. Did a little bit of fun freehanding on the back. Thank you, my friend. Oh, my lord. So yeah, we're almost done with this one, and then we'll be moving on to Ronnie is next, which I'm really excited about that. I love doing blue. It's actually blue is one of the easiest colors to do for fading and stuff like that. So, you know, I really enjoy messing with it because you can just kind of play that thing all the way out. And there's so many different types of blues. I hope some whites will be implemented like less to illuminate the whole section. LED. Well, these are going to go on. These are going on a shelf that has an LED light on it that lights them up. They don't have any LEDs on the inside of them. That's a little bit more money. That kind of work, it can get really expensive unless you have a red resin piece that's ready. Like, they make certain ones that are ready for LED where they already have all the sockets ready and stuff like that, but drilling and cutting into resin is printer resin is very, it's kind of not easy. It's also a little toxic. It kicks up this dust that's super bad for you. But yeah, my client has a big shelf he's putting all this on. We're gonna do probably do a walkthrough tour when they're all done. We'll go over there and get he wants me to come over and see it and get a pint. Like, heck yeah, man, sounds good. Have a pint and see the crazy room. Because it's all going in his game room. He's a big Elden Ring player, I suppose. The one that would have been really cool with LEDs would have been Radagon. But we did okay. Alright, so now I'm just going through, I'm putting in a second coat. I'm tightening up anywhere I see that I can real quick. Really cool. I'll save your channel. Come back. Yeah. Give me a sub if you don't mind. I appreciate it, my friend. Yeah. Subs are subscriptions help me get to where YouTube will pay for my art supplies. That's all I'm really trying to do here. Alright, so we're just going to kind of, like I said, you just kind of keep buttoning it up real close to it. Get this second coat in real quick. Now we're going to move on to the next part of the hands. This thing's going pretty quick. We'll be on to Ronnie in no time. Man, I feel like my print was a better print. It's not as easy to get lost in that one. It also could have been just the one side was just better than the other, so it might not even have been print. It might have been the way they're designed. I'd have to print another one of that other forearm to check it for sure. But there's a way you get them off of the supports. If you get it off before you harden it, it's better than after. Like this one's hardened, and so like these supports, when they come off, they're going to be easier to get off, but they're going to leave more like stuff behind, detritus. Kind of here. You're probably going to be able to see it. Yeah, it's already got more of these hard bumps that are coming off, and these little pieces that are stuck to it. When you do this, when you don't cure it first, you get less of this little stuff that's stuck to it. So, in my opinion, it's infinitely better to clean the supports off before you cure it. I'll let this one kind of, and this one just sun cured. This one didn't even go into like a cure machine. It just sat over in the windowsill for a second, because you cure it with UV resin or UV light. That little, the yellow thing that's behind me is a cure. So anyway, that's the small version. Scale down if you will. Let's see. I'm gonna let this play till the music goes out. Just keep working. You got lots of hand to go. Yeah, I think a short, when we go over to see them all, one of those short videos would be great for that. Show it all off. Just like, maybe just say crazy how you have like 30 plus hours invested into this piece. Well, okay, kind of. So like we're at what, episode 27 now? Some of them have gone a little long, but sometimes I'm not actually working. like in the beginning of the shows and at the end of the shows, I'm like chit chatting and whatever. And sometimes I'll stop what I'm doing and talk. So it's not like 27 film hours or 30 some odd film hours isn't the same as like 30 some odd hours of non-film. That's why I like, if I'm doing things on the show, then I usually there's a difference in when I'm going to tell you it'll be ready. And it might be a cost difference depending on what's going on, because sometimes it's like I can whip out an army really, really quickly, but if you want to watch me paint that army live, then it's gonna take a little longer and the cost might change. And depending what kind of person you are, the cost might change. I'm kind of a pest about that kind of stuff. Like if you come to me really cool and you're a good, nice, easy to deal with customer, I'm probably gonna be a whole lot chiller about pricing than if somebody who comes to me and is pushy or irritating about it. Kind of thing I like about arts versus food is like in food, like the price is the price. You can't just like I guess you could go discount people's tables for being nice, but it's really not a habit you want to get into in that. But in art, it's so subjective. It's because it's just a completely different kind of thing. We're like, yeah, I'm gonna do really good for this guy because he was really nice, for the whatever $500. But this guy, his $500 is not gonna go as far because this guy was a douche. And I hate to admit it, but I am that way. I'm just that way about it. It's like, man, you're an asshole. You're paying more. Or at least you're not going to get the same kind of stuff. But anything I paint live is like it's a special project, so it's one of those where it depends on a lot of things. But like, back to my original point on all that, the live hours are not the same. When I'm sitting in here by myself just listening to people talk. Pearson says, yeah, restaurants, if you have someone who's super nice, never complains, tips well, and brings some new people, I'll toss an extra wherever, a little fries. Yeah, you can only do a little bit. It's not the same. Like Michael, the guy who's paying for who the client is, he's kind of become like a friend, where he gets as excited about what I'm doing as anybody else, and he's very supportive of what I'm doing, and wants me to just kind of, like this thing on this cloak. Not everybody would have been cool with that. It's not exactly what goes on that cloak, and it doesn't. It's an interpretation of some imagery from Elden Ring that is kind of I'm used on, and he digs it. He likes that kind of stuff. He wants to see that kind of push into another realm of possibilities. And not every patron is that way. Not every customer wants that. Some people want it to look... I want it to look just like the thing on TV. They come in and they want a tattoo artist to tattoo something that they saw. But it's like, okay, well, I don't do that kind of tattooing. And they're like, oh, well, do it anyway. And then they get mad because it doesn't come out right. I see that all the time. Like, real, but you didn't know, like, whatever. I got a couple of my friends who do tattoos. I can't do tattoos because I would be... I'd be mortified. Trying to tattoo somebody, it'd make me crazy. I like the addition on the cloak, I'll say, but I'm more for artistic interpretations. Right, and I think that's what, you know, one is the cloak. It's on the back. You're not, you know, the way he's going to be on the shelf. You're not going to see the cloak unless you're interested enough in the art to have it come down and take a look at it. Because it's not something that, you know, if you're just an average glancer, you're not going to be like, oh, hey, Mike, let me look at that, man. The people who are really digging it, they'll get that special treat. And that's, I love that. I think that's really cool. We are going to turn this hair white. The fur will be white by the time we get done with it. But we want to start it off with the... We're going to start this one off with the brown instead of the Payne's gray. Because of... It's going to be a little dirtier, you know? A little dirtier. Not quite like our lion who just materialized, you know? We're just going to get a little bit of brown in there just to get that color. You're not really going to see any of that, but we don't want that little bit of gray poking out from behind if someone does take a look. So a little bit of color on there will help that a lot. All right. Woo! Oh, that was fun. Man, I sped through that first hand, huh? I think I realized how much work these were going to be. But that's okay, that's good. Oh, they look so great. Look so great in the red. Here we go. Bam. Yeah. I'm definitely glad we did that in the red. That really sells it. It's going to bring everything together. Yeah. That's what we want. Oh. Well, that's the end of that. So we're going to come back tomorrow. I'm going to let this guy dry. We'll come back tomorrow. You know what? I might go ahead and get this guy up to where that one is, and then we can finish them both and start the axe tomorrow. But I feel like we're going to be done by the end of this week. Pretty solid chance that that's going to happen. Because there's not much to do once these get set up. There won't be much to do. And then the axe is pretty fast. Most of that's just, you know, throwing down some washes and stuff. It's a little bit of work on the rope, and there's a little cloth piece. And I think I want to come back and do a little bit of work on this one. Just because I haven't been happy with it in a while. I just keep staring at it. But yeah, no, there it is. Anyway, let's see. Briefly say, so I've been thinking about the tree revenants I have to build and paint. Personally want to do them in autumn colors, but I don't know if that would be weird. I don't know. I think you could do them in any color you want. They're trees. So yeah, I mean, you could make them in autumn. You can buy like some flock. Yeah. So stuff like this. So this is like a foliage. This stuff's cool because you could add this on afterwards in some places to kind of get the. Okay, so this stuff kind of comes out like it's together, you know. So you want to rip a bit of it out, and you can spread it, and it'll look like fall foliage on things. So anyway, it's a pretty neat. This one's kind of old, but yeah, here you go. You can see on the steps here. It tells you how to kind of spread it out, and you can kind of manipulate it into doing the different kinds of things to look a different way. I keep thinking the camera's pointing down here. It's not. So, like I said, it kind of pulls. I was thinking about adding some of that maybe to this guy, but I don't know. Do it over a bucket though, so you can save all the stuff that falls off, because you can use that at other places too. Like, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like a sponge you're ripping apart. It's really weird. But no, I think it would look good in autumn colors. I don't see why it wouldn't look good in autumn colors. Makes sense to me. Alright, let's pull down here for just a little bit. I got you. I really do like the idea of autumn true remnants, browns, orange, yellows, and reds. Yeah, it could totally work. I've got a couple of things that are fall pattern that I like. I have a goblin that has like this leaf thing he wears, and it's all autumn leaves. It's pretty cool. Yeah, autumn colors are fun. And you can even do like little bits of green and stuff like that in there to accent. At that point, to kind of give it a little bit of just an accent colors and change up. There's a thing called color breaking, which is where you're going to take like one color and then set it next to another. Like right behind me, actually, it's a great color break. If we had like several red things in a row and then you had a yellow thing after that, then that's going to break, because yellow and red are very opposite of each other, you know. So it breaks the color. It's like if you have a bunch of blue things in a row, it's a good thing to throw something like red or pink or like yellow or violet, something else that's not in the blue, too much of a blue shade to drop it. Even violet's a little too close. And like a lot of, when you look around at a lot of advertisement and stuff like that, they do a lot of color breaking and things like that. So anyway, it's been a lovely day. Thank you everybody for coming by. Great to see you. Rasmus showed up today. We had Mick Beardsley, as always, sir. I'm going to have to turn you into a moderator or something. I don't know how to do that, but I'm going to look it up. That way you can eventually be able to monitor the comments, I guess. Yeah. Let's see. Also, we had, and my lord, Marius Z has joined us today. So thanks for coming by. I really appreciate the kind words, and I'm glad you enjoyed the stuff we're working on. Anyway, I think that's about all I've got for today. So I'm gonna let this thing roll out of here. I do have mod experience with streams. Hey, that's good to know. It's starting to finally get busy around here. You know, when you first came here, it was all farmland. It's just, you know, you and me and Dave, and you know, now it's gotten. Well, look at it now. We got people talking all the time. Anyway, you guys have a great day. I'm gonna go and have a great day, and I'm gonna see you tomorrow for another episode. Oh, remember, if we get to 250, we're gonna paint a cool little. It's a little giant. It's not big like this one, but he's a neat one, and there'll be a lot of fun freehand stuff we can do on him. There's a lot of patchwork to his shirt, and so we're gonna do some fun stuff in that. Anyway, definitely come check us out. Hit the like, subscribes, all the stuff I'm supposed to say, and we're gonna talk to you tomorrow. Bye.